Hummus is arguably one of the most iconic dishes to come out of the Levant. It's creamy, it's got a touch of garlic and lemon, it's filling, and it's one of many mezze dishes that we have. Mezze is just like the Arab version of tapas. It's like small bites that will fill your table. In Arabic, hummus just means chickpea. So when we say hummus, sometimes we're talking about the dip. Sometimes we're also just talking about the bean itself. There's different dishes we make. There's salads that use the whole bean. Sometimes we'll do rice with chickpeas as well. But more often than not, when we say hummus, we're usually just talking about the dip. But it's good to make that distinction. I'm a traditionalist. I like to make my dishes the way that they're intended to make before I jump in to start creating my own versions of things. And hummus is one that I really think everyone should understand the basics of how to make a proper basic hummus before you start jumping into making different kinds of hummus. And also, there's a lot of pre-packaged hummus out there that just make my blood boil. I'm looking at chocolate hummus, I can't stand it, but it exists against my will. But overall, hummus is a very easy dish to make. There's not many ingredients, but the technique matters. If you rush it, you won't get the result you're looking for. So for this, it's not too hard to do. Just take your time, be patient, and I guarantee you'll get a good result every single time. So without wasting any more time, this is how you make a very classic hummus. Like I just mentioned, there's not many ingredients to make hummus, but the method and technique really does matter, so patience is your best friend here. Also, I want to dispel the notion that there are no measurements for hummus. I'm one of those people that likes a method and a routine, so here I want to document with measurements exactly how I make hummus, so you can reference this every time. I'm not the master of hummus by any means, but I know how to make a pretty damn good batch. The first thing to making a traditional hummus is to start with dry chickpeas. Most Levantine households will have a giant bag or container of dry chickpeas because we use them so often, and the dry version is free of any preservatives or chemicals that canned versions might have. I'm not saying all canned versions are bad, but to make them shelf stable, there's usually some preservatives in there that I just prefer to go without. So if you really want to use canned chickpeas, be my guest. You'll save a lot of time, and you can jump straight to the blending portion of this video, but if you'd like to use the dry chickpeas, then you can follow along. So I'm going to use 2 cups of dry chickpeas and submerge them in room temperature water overnight, or at least for 8 hours to hydrate. They'll soak up a majority of the water and almost double in size. This recipe also makes a lot of hummus, maybe close to 8 cups or more. I don't know exactly, but it's enough to last me a full week is what I'm trying to say. You can also scale the portions here, so if you want to just do 1 cup of dry chickpeas, you can cut all the measurements from this video in half. Or if you want to do 4 cups, you can double all the measurements. It's totally up to you. Once the chickpeas have hydrated, strain them from the water that they've been sitting in and place them in a large pot of boiling water. Throw a lid on, drop to low, and let it ride for 2 hours. Chickpeas only need an hour to cook, but I want to overcook them so that they're super soft since I'm going to be blending them. So this is a nice set it and forget it method. Once the 2 hours are up, reserve anywhere from a half cup to 1 cup of the chickpea water. This is going to help our chickpeas blend initially, and it also adds its natural flavor to the hummus. So strain the remaining water out and then set them aside to cool for about an hour. You know the chickpeas are ready when you can easily smush them between your fingers like this. And also, if you really want an amazing result, you can remove the skins from the chickpeas. This will guarantee a really smooth result, but it's not 100% necessary. It is tedious, and there are tricks like adding baking soda to the water as you boil, but at the end of the day, removing all the skin is tedious work. So if you want to labor yourself, be my guest. But I will say it does give you a slightly better result, so don't knock it. Now, it also is easier to blend the chickpeas while they're hot, but to make hummus, the heat will react with other ingredients that we add, which is going to cause some coagulation, giving you a more chunky or lumpy looking hummus. Like my mom prefers to blend them hot, which makes sense, it's easier, but then she removes them into a bowl and then puts them in a fridge to cool. I think that's too much work. I only want to clean the blender one time, so I prefer to just wait until the chickpeas are room temp and then I start. Is her method any better? For my safety and her reputation, her method is better. And maybe I'll get her to share her method one day if she's up to it. So now we have some room temp chickpeas. I'm going to add these to my blender along with the reserved chickpea water. I'm also going to add 1 cup of tahini, which is sesame paste. It's basically sesame seeds that are ground up and mixed with oil to create this paste. I'm also going to add the juice of 2 to 3 lemons, depending on your lemon tolerance, 2 or 3 garlic cloves, and last, some salt to taste. Start the blender and let it go until you see a kind of chunky consistency, and you can see here I got a really thick looking hummus that has chunks in it. The trick now is to slowly add bits of really cold water. I measure anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 cup of water at a time. Add it to the hummus and blend and check the consistency as you go. Now, I noticed that my blender wasn't as powerful as it usually is, and I wasn't getting that creamy consistency I normally get. It was starting to get too watery, so I was confused. So I removed the blender, and guess what? It was smoking. The motor was literally smoking.
We have to throw this thing away.
It was an older blender, but of course it decides to give up like right as I'm at the finish line of this video. I wasn't happy with the presentation of this one. It didn't look right. You can see that it's chunky in the hummus. It's not correct. This isn't what I was going for. So I saved it. I ate this over the week until my new blender arrived and I restarted from scratch. So I soaked another 2 cups of chickpeas, boiled them for 2 hours, reserved a 1/2 cup of the water, let them cool to room temp, and then added them to the blender along with another cup of tahini, the juice of 3 lemons, a few garlic cloves, and then salt to taste. And again, I slowly added cold water and blended until I got a nice smooth consistency. This blender doesn't let me run without the top on, so take my word for it. An analogy I like to use is that this is like tuning a string instrument. You have these fine tuners on your instrument that you slowly twist bit by bit until your strings are perfectly in tune. The same concept with the cold water. Add little bits of water at a time and blend until you get the perfect creamy consistency. And for this recipe, I measured out 1 cup of cold water in total. Now from here, you can store it in an airtight container or you can serve it right away. And hummus is fun to plate because it's a blank canvas that you get to be creative with. So to plate it, you traditionally will use a bowl like this. I don't know if it has a name, and I don't know why we use them, but it's the standard. We all use them, we all have them. There's plastic ones like the one I'm using here, it's kind of cheap. There's also really nice ceramic ones you can get as well. Scoop your hummus into the bowl and then use the back of a spoon to fluff it up like I'm doing here. And then angle the spoon and spin the bowl around several times until you get this nice presentation. I call it a well, but like the center of the hummus is peeking up higher than the edges. I'm going to show you a cool trick I like to do for the presentation. I'm going to add a bit of sumac, paprika, and cumin to a plate just like this. I poured way too much sumac, but that's what I get for not using a spoon. But wet the back of a fork, dip it into one of the spices, and then stamp it on the edge of your bowl. So I'm doing some mat and paprika around the edge and a little mountain of cumin or kamun in the center. And last but certainly not least, actually it's probably the most important piece, is you need a really, really high quality olive oil. I love to use this Le Cuisine Lebanese olive oil. I have it linked in the description below with a discount code if you're interested in trying. But just pour your olive oil through the center as much as you like, and that's it. You have yourself a beautiful plate of hummus. I feel like this might be the longest video about hummus on YouTube, but I'm sure someone will appreciate the detail.
The traditional way to eat hummus is you get a nice piece of warm bread and you rip the pita, you rip the bread up just like this until you can kind of make like a spoon or a shovel or however you want to call this. I just make like a little shape like that. You want it sturdy because you're going to scoop up. And then you just go in there and you scoop up your hummus and take a bite. And the ratio needs to be ridiculous. Like the bread to hummus ratio needs to be like 2-to-1, maybe. Like it needs to be an absurd amount of hummus. I don't know if everyone likes it that way. I like it this way, but like this is heavy. Look at it, it's dripping, it's heavy. And all the oil is dripping off of it. I have a little bit of some mat, cumin, and some paprika on here. It's a really nice bite. I'm gonna eat this before I make a mess. Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. Now this is how I make it, and I can already guarantee there's gonna be people saying how they make it differently, which is totally fine. I'm not the one who created hummus, but I know that this technique will get you a good result. And I'd love to know other techniques that people use to get a good result as well. Because again, there's not one way to get one result. There's many ways to get the same result. Like my own mom does it differently than this. She has her own technique that she likes to do. I like to do it like this because I'm a little lazy, so I want it to be done in one go. But yeah, I'd love to learn how you make this for yourselves or for your families because again, this is a community. We all want to learn from each other. And yeah, this is how you make a very simple and basic hummus. Until next time, peace.